So hi everybody and welcome to today's training on the Salesforce Community Portal. So this is the new portal for those of you who are used to submitting GoMLS tickets where you'll enter support tickets now for all of your CoreLogic products. So if we do have people on the line who also use Matrix and or LDC, Listing Data Checker, or Relist, and GoMLS, and if we have any Trestle users on the line as well, that'll actually be added soon too. But for right now, Matrix, LDC, Relist, and GoMLS tickets are all going to be created here in this new portal right now. Today's session, we're going to be focusing exclusively on ticketing for GoMLS. We did an earlier session for Matrix, LDC, and Relist. If anybody needs a copy of that recording, feel free to reach out to me or your customer care rep as well. So the two big changes that we've made with the new Salesforce upgrade are these. First of all, those of you who are used to submitting tickets for the GoMLS product and iConnects will now be moving over to enter those tickets in Salesforce. Second, as I mentioned, Salesforce has undergone an upgrade. So although we'll be focusing on GoMLS today, just want to mention for those of you who are used to submitting those other tickets, Matrix, LDC, Relist, you'll now be using the system on the new Lightning platform, which has a new look and feel compared to the old Salesforce platform. By the way, most of you on the line today, since you haven't used this platform before, at least for GoMLS tickets, you should be getting a welcome email either on Friday later this week or Monday early next week as your accounts are created. If you need to, reach out to one of your customer care reps if need be. But this new system will be available for you on Tuesday morning. So that's what we'll have it available for you. So I'm on the login screen right now. I'll actually be showing you this in a sandbox environment today, not the live environment, but it's going to look exactly like it's going to look for you when you get into the live environment on Tuesday. So as I log in, you can see up here, got some nice headers up here. Again, if you only have GoMLS, don't worry about these other headers that you're seeing here. You're only going to see products that are relevant to you and to your MLS as well. The other thing I want to quickly point out about this website is it is mobile friendly. So if I shrink this down, say to the size of, something along the lines of a tablet or even a phone, you can see everything snaps to, all the text is available for me. You can scroll down, you can see everything that you need to. So responsive design. So whether you're on your laptop, whether you're on your tablet, whether you're on your phone, you should be able to, again, see everything you need to see. And again, regardless of which products you use, don't worry if you're seeing tabs up top for products you don't have, because really the process for submitting tickets is really pretty similar across all the products. The first thing you'll also notice below, so we have a bunch of headers, so if you wanted to go right to your GoMLS issues, you can click right here. But the thing that we've added here, and again, this is new for people who've used Salesforce before, and it'll be brand new if you've never used Salesforce for you, is we've created a streamlined way of submitting tickets using this drop down here right here. You also will start to see your name and the name of the association that you belong to as well. We created a fictitious MLS called Awesome MLS Listing Service as I'm in this sandbox environment here today. Then what you can do is you can select the drop down to select your product. And since we're talking about GoMLS, you're going to see we're going to put down here GoMLS and Property Locator. Of course, Property Locator being the Canadian version of the GoMLS app too. So we'll go ahead and we'll select that. And then at that point, you can go ahead and you can hit next. And what you're going to get now is issues, or I should say fields, that are specific to a GoMLS request. If you were using one of the other products, you would get a totally different set of fields here too. So we can start by putting some things like in the issue summary. I'll go up into the issue summary, and we want to be as clear as possible about what the issue is. And we'll say listings, not appearing in the app. And I have to go and correct my atrocious spelling here. So thank you for having a little bit of patience with me. And then, we'll just leave that listings. There we are. And then we'll come down to priority. So in priority, we can use this for a drop down here. And you can see we've got low, medium, high, and critical. Now, critical basically means drop everything you're doing and fix this for us right now. There's a huge, major issue. So, right now we'll just put in high for the moment. You do need to be able to go ahead and put in the app version too. By the way, if you're used to using the GoMLS app, this is the version number that you will find in the app. It's on the navigation sidebar. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's an About section. And that's where you'll get the actual version of your app there too, if you don't already know it. I'll put in 3.1.30 here for you. Next thing you'll need to do is select the device type, and that's a drop down for you as well. So we'll scroll down a little bit so you can see all the selections, but we've got lots. I'll come down here and I'll select Android 9, for example. Then what you need to do is you need to put in the device model, and this is a free-form entry box, so there is a little bit of a wiggle room here, but just try to be as clear as possible as what it is. I will go ahead and put in Samsung Galaxy 9, for example. Then down here below, we want you to provide some details as to what the issue is in your description. And again, one of the things we always try to hammer home is the more explicit you can be in terms of what the issue is and what you want fixed or what the changes are and what you want done, the better. The less going back and forth in the notes section and things like that, the quicker we can get this issue resolved for you. So for issues, the user who reported it, what you expect the behavior to be when you're using the app, what's actually happening when you're using the app, and if you've got any examples like a contact name, a listing ID, or a missing field, please put all that down here in those in that issue details field. Now, if there's a change, why are we making a change? What types of properties are affected? When should this change take place? If this is a display change, what's the field label and location? Maybe you're a Matrix customer and a GoMLS customer, and you're adding a new status to Matrix, and you also want that status added to to GoMLS as well. You could put that in there too. But as far as the issue details, I'll just put some placeholder text in here right now. But of course, again, we want you to be as explicit as possible and answer all those questions for us when you do those issue details. And then, of course, you've got the optional due date down here at the bottom, too. So, for example, in the example I just gave you, maybe you are adding a new status in Matrix, and that's going to happen on a certain day, and you need that status added to GoMLS on that same date. That might be a reason you put that GoMLS date in there, too. At any rate, it is optional if you want to, but just go ahead and click Next if you want to. And now what you'll see, as I scroll up a little bit here to the top, you've got a deep link. So this link, and it's MOB. You might be used to seeing MLS if you're ever putting in other tickets for Matrix and LDC, but MOB is going to be the prefix for any tickets for the mobile device, basically. But you can actually link right to the ticket you created here. We'll do that in just a moment. You can also drag or drop or upload files right here too. So if I come over here and I go over to, say, some of my pictures, I could come over here and click and drag, and I can actually drop this logo over here, and it's actually going to upload this logo for me. See, it's taking a couple of seconds with that progress bar, and then once I'm done, I go ahead and I can click done. So that's how easy it is to add any sort of screenshots or anything else. We'll get to more about a little bit of that in a moment. For right now, let's also go ahead and just click on that deep link, which is going to take me to that new ticket that I just created. So there it is for you. You might have noticed that I was logged in using my name. You might have seen my name. It said, hi, Brent, and hi, welcome to Awesome MLS. Again, without having to put any of that information in, it already knew my customer name. So it put in Awesome MLS for me. It went ahead and it's actually put in the app name, the Awesome MLS to Go app name. Again, who reported it? Me, the owner, me as well. So it puts all that information in. So there's a lot of things that are really happening in the background that's helping for you there. A lot of background work is getting done automatically. Now, over here on the right, of course, you've got your associated notes, if there are any. Also, any files as well. Also, you've got your mobile ticket history over here, too. So you can see what the history is that's going on with the ticket. In this case, it's only been created so far. Now, something else new for this version of Salesforce, and of course, it'll be new if you're used to using iConnects, is that we've added some shortcuts up here at the top right. One is change to closed. Another is create a new ticket. Another is add a new note. Now, really, these buttons do exactly the same thing as simply coming down here and editing the fields below. You could change the status, the date, the app version name, anything else. But this allows you to do a couple of things that really kind of automatically work for you, just some shortcuts for you. So, for example, I will click change to closed. All I get is a pop-up window right here that just allows me to add a comment. So you can come in here and you can see, again, that's where I can put in some notes about the status, the dates when it was completed as well. But for now, I'll just cancel out of here instead of making this go to be completed. We'll click on Add New Note next. So up here at the top right, we've got Add a New Note. And when I do go ahead and put in Add that new note, then I can just put in the information that I need to in my note. So, of course, I could do it down below. But I can do it right here in this pop-up with those little quick shortcut buttons for you as well. And I'll go ahead and I'll hit save. And one thing you'll always notice up here at the top, whenever you do something in Salesforce, you're going to get this little green pop-up letting you know that you've completed that action, that something has actually happened for you. So what you did was successfully completed. And now you'll see sort of over here on the right of the ticket, we've added a note here too. Plus it was added to the history of the ticket down here below. So this is where, again, you can see who's been working on this. Has a new note been added? Where are those notes? How do I get to them? You can even hover over them. You even get a little pop-up giving you a bit of a preview about them as well. All right, so now what we'll do is that's really all you need to do for creating a ticket. That's about it. What we'll do now is show you sort of navigating around those tickets and a couple other things. I'll go up here to the GoMLS/mobile app link, and that's going to take me to my single line view of tickets. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Here's my view. Now notice that right now this list is defaulting to my most recently viewed tickets. And that's something that used to happen in the old version of GoMLS. It's happening now though, because I happen to have it pinned. So this is something you probably weren't able to do if you're used to using, again, the old version of Salesforce. But now what you've got the ability to do is you can take any of these tickets if you'd like to, and you can switch this view to your own custom view if you want to. So you've got all. I've got my copy of all. I made a copy of one. I cloned one of these lists. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. My apps closed support tickets, my apps open support tickets, my open support tickets, and of course recently viewed as well. So I'll go ahead and select my apps open support tickets for now, and then you can see my view is drastically changed. I have some different fields. I've only got a few different lines here right now, but I can come up here and I can decide to pin this view. So now every time I come in and I click that header up there at the top, under GoMLS mobile app, it's now my app's open support tickets that are pinned there. A couple other things that you can do on this section too, on this view. If you can't see the whole ticket, make it a little bigger. You can actually click and drag these columns if you want to and make them bigger or smaller if you'd like. Very easy. Just click and drag on the margins if you want to. You can also create your own custom view as well. You can just click on the gear icon here at the top right. Couple of things you can do here. You've got the new, you've also got the ability to clone as well. Now remember, clone would copy this existing view. You won't be able to edit any of the basic system views that we see in the dropdown. I think I might be on one of them now. Let me go over to the filter, for example. So under here for filters or editing these fields, I'm not able to change these things right now because I'm on one of the system views. Now, if you've got a copy view, I've made a couple over here. One is Brent's custom view, one is copy of all. And again, remember, you can come over here on these system views and you can clone them if you want. So if you like what you see here, but you want to be able to mess with these filters a little bit, clone one of those tickets. I've already done that. Let's go over here, for example, to copy of all, for example. And actually, I'm in a different view. We'll get to more about that in just a second. I'll switch that back to a table view. But now you've got the ability to click on more filters. Here, let me see if I've got a better one than this one, like Brent's custom view. Yeah, again, we'll switch out of that to a table view. That looks a little bit nicer. And we've got some filters available for you over here. So remember, when we saw the filters earlier on one of those, my app's closed, my app's open, a couple others, you're not going to be able to fix those filters. Copy, clone those, call them something that you're going to recognize, and then you have the ability to come in here and play around with these filters if you want to. So first of all, I'll click on Filter by Owner. Got a couple of choices here. All CoreLogic mobile tickets, my CoreLogic mobile tickets, and Q-owned CoreLogic mobile tickets. So my would be defined as anything where you're the owner. All, of course, would be everything, so any ticket that's been submitted by folks in your MLS, but you can, again, apply additional criteria here if you want to as well. Coming down here, there's also filter by record type as well. You can see, again, you're going to be able to create your own custom filters if you want to, so you can choose the field up here. You can choose the operator, equals, not equal to. Sometimes you'll see operators is greater than, is less than. It'll depend on which filter you're activating right now. And then you've got the choice for the value. Does it have the notes? Does it have the support ticket? Anything else that you need to as well there. You can also just click out of here to get out of there without having made any changes. Hit the X over here to remove any filters that you're not interested in putting in. If you'd like to add a custom filter, go ahead and do that. And again, you can change any of those fields, the search operator or the value. And again, very easy to get rid of it by clicking the X. You can even change the filter logic here if you'd like to as well. So lots of different things you can do. Play around with your custom views, show the fields that you want to. In fact, up here, you've got the ability now that I've created my own custom view, you see I've got a whole bunch of other things that are available to me, one of which is select fields to display. So if I click on, for example, select fields to display, that is going to bring up all the fields that are available to me to show in whatever view I want to set up for myself. And you can highlight them and use these little arrows just to move them from available over to visible. Once they're over here in visible, you can move them up or down to have them be the leftmost or rightmost columns by clicking on these little folders here, or I should say these little arrows here as well. So again, you can totally change these. You can also do a couple other things over here. Let me cancel out of here for a moment. You can also come over here and you can make charts if you want to. You can actually chart your different fields as well. So you get a little bar chart here, so you can see exactly what things are going on with each of these. You can play with the settings on these too by clicking on the gear down here at the bottom. The other thing that I can do, and you kind of saw this earlier when I was playing around with these views, up here in display as a table, there's also a Kanban view, sort of like a card view, basically. So again, if I've created a clone of this view and then select Kanban, you can see, in this case, I've created a Kanban, and if you created one that was from scratch, you'd be given the opportunity of different ways to create this card view. You can see I've got mine set up by priority, low, medium, high, or critical. You could, for example, put in device type, only Galaxy devices, only iOS devices. So again, you can make these table views and you can really customize them to your own given look as well. Now up here at the top, you can also come up here and use the new button to create a new ticket from scratch if you want to as well. So let me go ahead and hit new. You've got a choice. You want to create a support ticket? Do you want to create a note ticket as well? So here I'll hit cancel on this one. And let me go back to my table view. And let's see, I'll click on one that I created a while back. I'll just view this ticket right now and we'll take a look at it. So again, you've got your notes over here. You've got the ability to upload files. Remember, I could click and drag my files as I did earlier. So if I just want to go ahead and I want to put in a photo in this case, you can see you're going to get the little upload bar once you're done. You can, of course, view that anytime you want. You get a little bit of a show as to what that is. You know, you can see that it's a JPEG file, when it was uploaded. When you go ahead and you click on it, you get a couple of different choices. You can download it from here if you'd like. You can view the file details. You can also upload a new version, and uploading a new version is going to give you a place where you can actually put in notes about what's going on. Has the size of this file changed, or have I made a change to a spreadsheet, or is this screenshot different than it was before? So again, you've got all kinds of abilities to take a look at those things and add those things there as well. But another thing that I also want to point out is you can also put screenshots right in the note section and right in the issue section as well. So if I go over here to new note, for example, actually before I do that, I'm going to do a control print screen, which you can't see me do, but rest assured I just did it. But go over here to the new note section, hit this pencil icon, and then if I come down here to new note and I do a control V or a paste, that screenshot is going to end up right there in that note section, and now I can save it in there. So that's another place that you can add your screenshots, you can add your images, or anything else that you might need to do. So of course, once I've done that, it's now been added to my note history. It's been added to my ticket history as well. So again, all the ways that you can figure out what's been going on with this ticket back and forth as we're trying to bring it to completion. But with that said, honestly, that's about everything you needed to do to submit a ticket, to take a look through tickets. One thing that I will do, you can come up here and let me click on the GoMLS mobile app. You know, for example, if I use the search section and I come in here and I just search on the generic word of issue, probably most of mine are going to come up because there's some sort of issue, but that is searching, by the way, the ticket name. It's also searching the description. It's also searching the notes. So that search section is a great way to find only tickets that are really having to do with, you know, if you're looking and wanting to run some stats and see what sort of issues are we looking at, and you want to find, you know, different listings or things like that, issues with listings, issues with display, put the word display in here, put the word listing in here, and you can search for issues that have to do with those types of things, basically. Last thing I want to do is I want to bring you up here to the top. I do want to go ahead and click on the little icon up here under My User Profile, because as I go ahead and I click on that, here is where the first time you ever get logged in, you may want to make a couple of changes. You can, again, change your time zone if you need to. your password, your language if necessary. You can even change your email if you want to be notified at a different email here too. But folks, that's really pretty much everything we had to show you about tickets here in GoMLS. Also, just remember, always use that new note field or that quick action button. We never want to create notes from scratch. So sorry if I was a little unclear on that earlier. We do want to use that quick action button or that new note field rather than creating those notes from scratch as well. But other than that, folks, if there are any questions, I'd recommend typing them into that questions pane now. If you have anything for us that we haven't been clear on, just let us know, and we'll try to answer them now. But you do have that questions pane over there on the right-hand side of your GoToWebinar dashboard, where you can ask anything you need. But again, the Salesforce system, while I'm waiting for these to be typed in, is, again, pretty straightforward, very intuitive. Again, go over here to this home page, as you can see. The drop-down really is going to be the great, easy place for you to create any of these tickets for yourself as well. We'll be adding some help information down there in a bit. I do have a ticket coming up now. A previous attempt to get me access to GoMLS ticketing didn't work. Starting Tuesday, will I have automatic access to this tab in Salesforce, or does that need to be set up separately? As I mentioned, and let me know, Bev, if you want to weigh in here at all, but we should be setting up these accounts on Friday and Monday. You should be getting a welcome email. If you are having any issues, my best suggestion would be to reach out to your customer care rep for GoMLS. That should work for you. But if there's anything else to add, please let me know, Bev.
I would recommend reaching out to your Matrix Client Services rep directly on this. There were quite a few accounts in iConnect that were no longer in use or duplicated, so we did not automatically create logins for everybody. So do please contact your Matrix Client Services rep, and they'll get you an account set up ready for Tuesday.
Thanks, Bev. And last thing to mention, also, we will be bringing over some current tickets. We will be migrating some from iConnect, but we won't be bringing over the historical tickets. So you will lose that ticket history, but everything that's relevant and current should be brought over when you get logged into the new system. All right, folks, I don't see any more questions. Told you we wouldn't keep you here an hour. Just a quick session today on putting in your tickets. But if you do have any questions, of course, you'll be getting an email coming out sometime within the next day after the session being completed, thanking you for attending. If you have any questions at all, or you need access to that recording that we'll be making here in just a moment, just let us know, reply to that email, and we'll get you everything you need. So thanks very much for joining us here today for this new training on the new community portal in Salesforce on the Lightning platform. Hopefully, we've made your job a little bit easier, and we look forward to providing you with the same level of customer care that you've always used to, and we'll get all those notes and all those tickets taken care of for you ASAP. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. Have a wonderful day.